It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
You betcha.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the old College Broncos head rodeo coach, Coach Tanner Griletz. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Good to be on.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you want to get started in coaching in college rodeo?
I was riding bulls professionally in 2017 at the end. In January, one of my friends, a good friend of mine, he ended up committing suicide, and I was going to quit in 2016, but he was begging and pleading with me to keep riding. So I decided to go one more year for Ty Posabon, and I rode his shaps that year. And I rode that whole year with his shaps on. I ended up winning second in Canada, and then I quit right after the Canadian finals. And when I got done, I used to go to this practice pen all the time in Olds, Alberta, and I'd get on bulls there from practice there. And I kind of knew that there wasn't a rough stock presence at the college, and I'd been visiting there a little bit when I was there practicing, and wasn't very long after I decided to call her quits that Guy Kelly actually reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in becoming the rough stock coach at the college or assistant coach, and I said I'd be happy to. So it's kind of, I've always put clinics and stuff like that on throughout the years, so it's something that comes pretty natural to me. I coach my kids hockey now, and I kind of just I love the coaching aspect, the finding that when you're watching kids and you see that aha moment where something clicks for them, that's one of the greatest feelings in the world, when you get to see a kid accomplish their goal right there. That there's nothing makes you feel better about yourself than knowing that you've helped someone accomplish something like that.
What was that experience like for you getting to compete for Team Canada?
It was a super big honor. The Team Canada thing, when I was asked the first year, I went, and there was some negativity around me going. I had just won Canada, but I wasn't riding that strong in 2007. And I went, and then I showed up when I was there and got all my bulls rode, and um, it was crazy to be a part of that thing at that stage. The ones I rode at, I went to one in Australia, I went to one in Brazil, and then I went to one in the US in Las Vegas, and then the one I coached was at in Arlington, Texas. So it was pretty big. There's a building or a town in Brazil called Barretos, and that's where the World Cup was there, and it was the biggest crowd I've ever seen or been in front of. It was crazy. There was 80 to 120,000 people standing there watching us. So it was a crazy time in my life. There's lots of people and lots of pressure, and being able to compete for your country, it's just a different feeling. You know, rodeos is kind of an individual sport, but when you get a band of brothers together like we had on them teams and come together as a country, it's a pretty cool feeling.
For you, what was that experience like competing in the 2006 championship for the bull riders?
In 2006, I had won second the previous 2 years, and I was my rookie year was 04, and then 05 I won second again, and then I in 06 I kind of had a feeling. I was in college down in Texas, and I flew home for the finals, and I fell off my first one, and I was like, well, my feeling didn't feel very good, and then the next 5 I stayed on, and I just kind of got rolling. I drew really well. I got some bulls rode that lots of guys have trouble with, and it just ended up working out. It was that's the end goal for everyone when they start riding bulls when they're a kid, is to wear a Canadian title or a world title or have that gold buckle on their waist. And it's, it was a pretty surreal feeling to actually accomplish something that early in my career. I was only 20 years old, so it was a pretty cool feeling.
Over the years, what has that been like being a professional bull rider?
Um, it's a it's a different life. The We're not paid athletes, so we have to do well to make our money. So if you're not doing very good, then you're not making very much money. So um, it's getting better now. There's some teams deals now down in the U.S. where they're actually making dollar figures just for showing up, and we didn't have that. So you had to actually go pay to get on. There's an entry fee to get on, so it's still like that a lot of places. It's different though. It's a lot of miles. In '06, I won a truck and we put 175,000 kilometers on that truck in a year, and I get it for a year. Put 175,000 kilometers on a truck in 1 year. So we're rolling. We're at one end of the US to the one end of Canada, and we'd be in Madison, Wisconsin one night and Fort Worth, Texas the next. So it was it's it's a lifestyle that not many people can grasp or understand, but the people that come along with bull riding and rodeo is they're second to none. And I've I've continued to push my kids and have them involved in rodeo because the people that you get to be around in rodeo is they're just like family to me now.
For you, what was that transition like going from being a professional bull rider to getting into college coaching?
Um, it kind of this two in the same. I'm just working on other people instead of working on myself. I'm trying to continue to get better at working on myself. Um, the biggest thing with the college coaching was the rest of the college. And as far as the rodeo team and the coaching goes, there's not any new tricks that no one knows about rodeo that everyone doesn't know. It's one of them sports. It's kind of like hockey. You know, there's nothing crazy or new about hockey. It's just getting faster and stronger. But the same basics all imply. Um, the biggest challenge that I had were trying to juggle the higher ups at the college. I had my way of doing things, and the higher ups have their way of doing things. So there's one thing about me, I'm fairly outspoken, and so we butt heads once in a while.
Of course, for you, what was that feeling like coming over and being the assistant coach first at Old?
I just I I took it the same seriousness as I did when I got the head coach position. Um, Guy Kelly, he was the head coach at the time, and me and Guy, we were friends before, and we're continuing to be friends now. And um, a lot of opportunities come from Guy. All the opportunities come from Guy at the college. He was the one that gave me that first phone call. So um, it was I took it as serious, if not more serious, than I did when I was head coach. The only difference was when I was assistant coach, I didn't have the paperwork I have now.
For you, what was that feeling like getting announced to become the next head coach?
Um, it was kind of surreal because when I was announced head coach, Guy was told he was let go. So, and then no one told us anything about it. So we didn't really, it kind of blindsided us. And it was 10 days out from our home rodeo. And so we kind of had to scramble and dig and figure out all the aspects of the rodeo that Guy did. The college kind of left us hanging on that one. So we, uh, we dug down and figured it out. And it was, one of them job offers you don't like to get, knowing that one of your friends got let go so you could get it. It was I didn't love the process of it, but at the same time, I was proud to be the head coach. But it was one of them ones where you kind of wanted to draw a line in the sand and say, no, I'm not gonna just take Guy's job because you guys let him go the day before, but the rodeo was in, like I said, 10 days, and there's 40 kids in the team needing us. So I kind of had to step up and become guy and make everything work.
For you, what was that first feeling like going to the rodeo as a head coach?
Um, you know what? It wasn't any different at all. From day one, I was there to make sure the athletes were taken care of, and that job never changed. It was just going there. There's lots of questions. Where's guy? Where's guy? And I didn't know how to answer lots of them. So, um, that was the only awkward part was all the where's guy? How come you're the coach? Where's guy? As far as the coaching aspect of it, it was always about the kids and trying to see them excel.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you started to build for the rodeo program?
Um, well, we got but I didn't hear that question that good, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk
Sorry.
about the culture that you've started to build for the rodeo program?
Yeah, we work hard. We there's one thing about rodeo kids and egg kids and stuff like that is we put our nose down and work. And what lots of people don't know about the Olds College Rodeo team is we have been cleaning our arena, cleaning the stands, picking up beer cans, picking up pop cans, sweeping, brushing, all the stuff. And after games, we go out in the bleachers, we sweep the bleachers, we do all of it. That doesn't happen in other sports. And the Braun Arena is our house, and we try to take care of it as best we can. Um, they tried their best to bring us down at the college with different aspects of things, and we just keep pushing through them. And these kids are resilient. They work, and I've said this a lot of times, but when I wake up in the morning, I put my cowboy hat on to go out and go to work. Putting that cowboy hat on isn't just to cover my head. That the cowboy hat comes with a lot of responsibility and honesty and integrity, and that's what all these kids are built on. And um, we try to work as hard as we can. Try to outwork the other teams, outwork ourselves, and every day is just another day to get to the grind. And if we're outworking them, the proof is in the pudding.
What is that home game atmosphere like when teams come to your home facility?
Oh, they definitely know they're in Olds. That little arena of ours, it only holds about 500 people, and we usually start our rodeos at 6, and by 5:15 it's sold out. So there's a lot of people there. It's busy. There's a lot of work, but it's loud. You know, people know they're in Olds, and this year we did a little deal where the kids come out on their horses and kind of let everyone know that Olds is in town, and then we walk through everyone that whole rodeo. So it was a good rodeo, and the kids get excited, and we're trying to build a program that everyone can be proud of, and the other teams can be a little leery of that. They know that we're in town and we've come and we're going to start kicking it some ass.
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you compete against?
The Vermilion Rustlers. There's NLC, which is Northern Lights up in Dawson Creek. The Southern Alberta team, that's with Lethbridge and all them colleges in the south. Red Deer Polytechnic, the Central Alberta team, and then there's a team from Saskatchewan as well. Vermilion, they have a lot of kids at their school. They're a pretty competitive team. NLC has a smaller team, but they sure seem to be competitive. They won the varsity banner last year, and I think we got her back from them this year. So it's yeah, just a handful of teams, but I mean, there's probably 250 members of kids that ride on in college rodeo. So, and all the different events, at least that, because there's, yeah, 250, I would say it'd be pretty close. So there's a lot of kids to compete against. And when I started, we had 7 kids on the team, and now we're up to this year we had 42 at the first semester. So it's building and the momentum's building and the practices are intensified and we're trying to build that's one thing. I'm not trying to build world champions at this point, and I tell the parents this when I try to talk to all the parents. I'm trying to build better people, and like this state in their life, they're still young, they're young adults, they're starting to make decisions and grow up, and I want them to be honorable, truthful, honest, good people. And if I can excel their rodeo career at the same time, perfect. But that's my main thing right now is to build character, not build total package athletes.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to compete in the rodeo?
We get to we get there's all sorts of practice. There's live cattle, fake cattle, dummies. There's every kind of tool you can put in your think of that's at the college right now. We've got a pretty big arsenal. We try to get each event to practice twice a week, and then the days they aren't practicing, we get them to come in and they help out the other practices. So we try to keep rolling. Like Mondays and Wednesdays we rope, and Tuesdays we do the girls and the rough stock. Wednesdays is roping again, and then Thursdays is a strict girl practice, and then Fridays we go through some rough stock drills and stuff again. So um, we try our best to fill up all the evenings and get there as much as we can. And it's getting tougher and tougher to find time with the amount of kids that are ending up on the team. So it's a lot of kids to roll through, but we try to get everyone taken care of.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing your freshmen putting on that jersey for the first time versus your seniors putting it on for the last time?
The freshmen are always exciting. You don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know how they're gonna handle game time stuff. Um, so I know what I got with the seniors, but the freshmen, it's kind of a fresh jump on it. We don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm always excited. The nice thing with rodeo is I've seen most of the kids through high school rodeo and junior rodeo and stuff, so I know kind of what they're gonna do, but when it comes to a little bit bigger stage, you don't know exactly how the mental state will be. So it's an exciting way to jump into it. We try to have a fun rodeo at the college, just team members competing against one another so we can kind of get a game day feel before we get to the first rodeo.
What is that like getting to see them putting on that jersey for the last time and seniors and putting on their first professional rodeo jersey?
Um, it's pretty surreal. That's the biggest thing I'll get is I've had a lot of friendships between parents and kids over the years. I currently have 2 of my old students living with me right now. They're been hanging out. They're both one's a bullfighter and one's a bull rider. They're staying at the house with us right now. So the one is going home again here at the end of this week, but the one is from Australia. He was my first international student I ever had. So he's still over here, and um I love watching them excel and see how much further they can go. I still get lots of calls all the time from old students and the friendships you build, and when if you get to see one excel and do good at a professional level, it's even better. But my biggest takeaway from it is when I get a wedding invitation. That's that's how I know I did a good job, when I get a wedding invitation and I get to go to one of my kids' weddings and they know that I've supported them and they've supported me, and we've built a friendship that lasts. And um lots of them, their parents, I'm getting old enough now, lots of their parents I rodeoed with. So it's kind of a cool feeling to, it kind of comes around full circle, and watching them do good or get married or grow up or have kids, that's all part of it. And it's pretty cool to see them excel in life after college.
What are some of your future plans for the rodeo program at Olds College?
Oh, this is kind of a Heinz 57 question. I've actually recently resigned from Olds College. This last season was we'll go to the finals May long weekend, and then I will be done at May 31st is actually my last day. I have two young kids of my own, and I've been busy raising other people's kids and taking time away from mine. And my kids are busy playing hockey and rodeoing themselves and doing all the things. So um, all the politics, everything involved with it, I've been fighting for the last 4 years at the college about a lot of stuff, and it's time to take care of my family. And um, there's some internal stuff at the college that needs fixed, and I've been trying to help fix it, and they don't seem to want to help my help. So it's it's saying bye to them kids at the finals is going to be a tough day for me. But it is time. I've been there 8 years now, and it's just time for me to move on. And I'm not saying I won't come back one day, but once my kids are grown up. But as for now, I think I better start taking care of my family and moving forward that way.
What advice would you give those incoming freshmen entering their first year of college rodeo?
There definitely is. I've got kids coming like crazy. I'm getting web submissions every day. Um, my assistant coach right now, Emily Pugsley, she's going to step into the head coach position, and then we're going to recruit a new rough stock assistant coach. Um, so me and Emily have been working together. I'm going to continue to help her out and kind of be a consultant, because I know the feeling of being left high and dry on the rodeo team. So I'm going to stick around and help navigate her first season. It's it's a lot for the first season, so I'm gonna try to help navigate her throughout it. And we got some really good kids. Our women's team next year, it's looking like it could be near unstoppable. So um, I'm excited for her. She's excited. Um, should be another good team.
What advice would you give those athletes out there looking to get into professional rodeo?
Um, that is my day job. I'm the chief officer of rodeo for the Canadian Professional Rodeo Association. So my day job is dealing with pro rodeo. So if anyone out there wants to get into pro rodeo, feel free to reach out to me. I can get you lined up. It's a process. It's probably the easiest professional sport to become a professional in, but to be a professional at a top level is another story. So um, if there's athletes out there that want to become professional, then we'd be more than happy to have you. And uh, if yeah, I can talk anyone through it and figure out a way to get to the professional level. So
What advice would you give those head coaches looking to become college rodeo coaches on the college level?
if there's coaches looking, I my suggestion is just start reaching out to some of the colleges. We can that's how I've kind of, as a head coach, when I was, or before I was head coach even, we were looking for a women's coach, and I reached out to a few people that were kind of, I close to the Olds area, and they were knowledgeable people. And I had Chelsea Moore last year, and she didn't come back this year, but last year she was there and she was outstanding with the girls. And then we had Emily come on last year as well to kind of assist Chelsea in that aspect. And Emily come back this year, and Emily's been great. Emily's one of the girls that when I started, I coached Emily. She was one of the students there. So it was kind of come full circle for her. She was a student at Olds, and then she was a student at Vermilion for third and fourth year. She went to Vermilion and got her degree, and then she went and did real life for a while, and then she come back as a coach again. So I think it's just word of mouth mostly. There's applicant jobs on the line, and there's lots of people looking. I know that. So there's every day that colleges you see lots of new faces around there.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you out on social media along with the program at?
I got Instagram, just at T Griletz is my Instagram. I'm on there quite a bit. That's my main one. Facebook, I just kind of use my wife's to go on the marketplace and shop around for stuff I probably don't need. But I'm on Instagram. That's my main social media thing. And then email or whatever. All my emails are on the college website.
Thank you again, Coach Tanner, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at Olds College as the head rodeo coach.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Tanner, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.